Greetings, weary travelers, come. Warm yourself by the fire and let us regale you with mighty tales, tales of adventure, tales of heroism, and of course, tales of Tamriel, brought to you by the unofficial Elder Scrolls pages. I am your host, Arcaneer Silvershield, and I'm joined by, as always, once again, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Lotus of Doom. How's it going?
I am good. It's good to actually be able to record this time because things have been a little hectic with scheduling. Surprise, surprise. But
yeah,
with High Isle launch on PC, it's like, oh god, how can we not have an episode here? Like,
yeah,
we got to do something at least as in the interim, and then we can hopefully catch back up like normal, coming up type of deal. But yeah, lots of stuff just to kind of just discuss, I suppose. It'd be a shame to have to miss that. So.
Yeah. So, yeah, High Isle launched on Monday for PC, and it's gonna launch on console for console next week or 2 weeks after?
2 weeks. It's the 21st as we get it. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's...
Yeah, so it's basically, it's 2 weeks and 1 day because we get it on a Tuesday on console, so...
But hopefully, whatever the issue that blow up PCNA servers will be fixed and you won't run into it on consoles. Because that happened...
would be great.
Yeah. So apparently things went wrong again. And, yeah, PCNA servers, for a change actually, it's normally PC EU that just dies completely during a chapter launch. But this time PCNA went down. And apparently it was a weird bug again because I saw Rich tweet, like, okay, this is like finding a needle in a haystack regarding whatever was causing it.
Right.
And then the next tweet, like 18 hours after that, was just like, it works. So, so I guess they found the issue after a rough,
whatever
rough
it was.
Day.
I mean, it's kind of that's how these mega launches go type of thing. It's awkward if they don't have some type of weirdness that hits type of thing. So shout out to the team for that. That was probably a pretty shitty long day of trying to fix all of that or whatever. And hopefully, it's either very specific to something that won't affect console at all, or if it's not, they at least know what the thing was and they can prevent it from being a problem when we get it on console. Because other than that little hiccup, it seems like things are going smoothly now, at least from what I've been hearing. I have had zero time to actually play it. I've just kind of seen what I've been able to see from other people when they've been able to get on. So, and now it seems like people are consistently online again.
Yeah. So, like, I myself only played an hour yesterday, went live for the first time in like 2-3 months, just got the Tales of Tribute card game started, and I played another hour or so just before the show today, so I didn't get too much playtime either, but I'm getting there, so... Yeah, and we are going to talk about all of those. Excuse me while I'm being blinded by Chrome, because I wanted to open the patch notes. I forgot to open them before, but there we go. Okay. So many patch notes already.
There's like a comical amount of patch notes. Like, I made note in the notes of all the things that weren't patch notes because there are so many. Like, that is like, I have no idea. I feel like Gina actually might have told us how long she spends back when she joined us on the show, but like, I cannot imagine for each update typing all of these patch notes.
I mean, their internal documentation must be insane because, like, how so many different departments work for months on an update, and Gina has to put all of those together in a single, like, document. Right. All of those information coming from, like, all of those different departments. It's not a fun job. Like, I never had to do it myself,
pages plus.
But my lead developer in my previous company had to do it once, and I watched him do it. And going through everything that was done in that period of time to like write it all down, it's not fun. So thank you, Gina, for providing us with the Natch boats.
Right.
And sprinkling all those like fun comments in there as well.
Yes, the little flavor texts are always pretty entertaining when she tosses in some random ones. There was something about soup in this one.
Okay, so basically, High Isle launched, and I'm gonna do like a quick summary of what we are getting with this new chapter, right? So as usual, it separates into High Isle chapter, like the chapter and the base game update. So this one is update 34. So base game is getting, so these are things that you are getting whether if you have the new chapter or not. So Spanish localization, which is a massive undertaking for a game that has every single character voiced, which is still something that spoils me very much. And when I play another game and not every single character is voiced, I feel bad. So thanks, ESO. You ruined everything else for me. Manda Stones and Armory system, which I feel like I guess they forgot it in the first place, because that feels like it's a must. So
that one's a little weird.
Yeah. AMD FSR implementation, PC only. So this is why I brought up the patch notes, because I'm not going to be able to like explain what it is from just like memory. I mean, I know what it is, I just can't explain it. So AMD Fidelity FX Super Resolution, short is FSR. In update 34, we have added support for Fidelity Effect Super Resolution 1.0. This upscaling technology is available for all graphics cards and can be used to improve performance for those who are bottlenecked by their GPU while playing ESO. This can be used to get straightforward improvements in frame rate, or to allow you to enable more demanding graphic settings like our screen space GI, while maintaining similar frame rates to what you had before. So it is, I assume, because it's I'm not familiar with the AMD technologies, but I assume it works similar to NVIDIA's DLSS, DSLL. Basically, just it increases the resolution or reduces it dynamically in runtime, so like keeps your frame rate stable, stuff like that. But yeah, it's a good update. I mean, with the CPU update, a couple updates back, I feel like we had a frame rate improvement. At least I did. And now with this, that should even like go further, hopefully. So yeah, always appreciate the performance updates. So we are getting updates to Quick Slot Wheel as well, which is great. So it now separates your Quick Slot, tools, mementos, emotes. So you have a Quick Slot Wheel for every single one of those, which is very nice. So you don't have to, every time you change your activity, like whether you are role playing, whether you're about to mess around in town, whether you are going to the Cyrodiil, you don't have to just change your entire, okay, I'm gonna move the potions away and put tools in there instead, and all sort of juggling. Choose your own title screen music, and
my favorite feature.
I don't know why anybody would choose anything other than the latest one, which is just, it's amazing.
Yeah, the new one is awesome, but I've missed the original game one for so long. So I mean, the thing is, they're all so good. Like, I love the music, so it's kind of just like almost you can jump around. But like the initial one, I still like try to fully remember it, and I'll like throw on the soundtrack or something to just actually refresh, because like I love the original startup screen. That just, I don't know, maybe it's nostalgia too, but like it's just one of those things. I really like the fact that they're doing this. Like, this is just a cool little like extra bit to add into the game for some customization, which I think is really cool. Big fan of this. This is actually probably my favorite new feature that they've put in.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and listen to every single one of them to decide, but the newest one is just with the what's it called when like a whole group of people are singing? Choir?
Like a choir. Yeah, like the choir.
So,
yeah, it's so good. It's so good.
So There is obviously new houses, furnishings, house guests, collectibles, and stuff like that are into base game as well. And accessibility improvements. Now, I don't know the full details of it, but what the patch notes read is this. We have added a new pre-game screen, which appears prior to the login screen that offers the option to select accessibility mode. When choosing this mode, you will automatically be swapped to use the gamepad UI, but the keybinds will be adjusted for whatever input is being used, keyboard or gamepad. If you don't want to use this, you can disable in the options menu. Which makes a lot of sense because the gamepad UI is a lot larger. It's a lot more visible. The font size is bigger and stuff like that. But as soon as you touch a button on your keyboard before this option, it would just like roll the entire UI back to the classic keyboard and mouse UI.
Sure, so, which I love the fact that they're messing around with this accessibility thing because this is a good start to it. And there's a bunch more they could probably do, one of which is something that you've long brought up on this thing. I know you're not color blind, but like if there's a color modification type thing that they can do for like some type of, variable colorblind mode, you could just utilize that in a way to not have translucent colors of the same color in dungeons. Like that would be awesome if they start including that. And we also have people, from our community and stuff that have mentioned before, too many effects and stuff like that can literally give them migraines. So it's like, even though they like the game, they're like, yeah, okay, doing a trial with, 11 maws running around breathing fire while people are casting crystal frags and there's flappy birds everywhere. And, people are dropping Atronachs. They're like, it's too much. Like, it gives me a headache. So it's like, if they start going more into this accessibility thing, that would be really cool. I know this is kind of bizarre, but it's another thing I've never seen, and I'm sure it's not the first game or the only game, but there's this game, Minecraft Dungeons, and it actually has a I guess you'd call it maybe low visibility mode or something. It reads the menus to you if you enable it.
Oh, yeah, that makes
so
a
like
lot
when
of
you
sense.
highlight it, it'll be like inventory, settings, like it'll literally read it for you, and you can turn it off because like I don't personally need that. So like, okay, that's fine. It doesn't need to read in each of the menus, but like having that as a feature or something like that, it's like there's a lot they could do to make this more, accessible to a lot of people. So kudos on them for getting started, and hopefully it goes somewhere good to cover as much as they can.
I mean, accessibility is a like a lot of the accessibility features are really not that difficult to implement when you actually bring someone in to consult on the issue, because they will give you like so many simple solutions that you can just implement that will make so much difference. I mean, the developers who are not familiar with the issues themselves or haven't, experienced them, they tend to just overthink solutions when it comes to accessibility stuff. But
sure,
a lot of it can be solved in very easy ways in terms of the development side of things. So yeah, it's just really isn't the focus in many times, unfortunately, in the game industry. But the awareness is getting there. Like there are accessibility reviewers. A lot of advocates are coming forward now, organizations and stuff like that. So the awareness is thankfully getting there, but it'll take some time for the studios to actually catch up with the importance of accessibility. Hopefully, ESO will be in the front lines of that.
Yeah, and the more it's kind of brought up, like different potential things, like you wouldn't. A perfect example is like the one that we talk about on the show so much. It's like it didn't dawn on me that it's like, oh yeah, like the Moongrave Fane one's probably the best example. It's like it's got like the crimson background, and then it's got like these the homunculi that are like this translucent red. And to me, it's never been like a thing, but it's like once you said it, it's like, oh, okay, well now it's brought to my attention. Oh yeah, I guess it is like that. But then on the flip side, I have the huge issue, which I've now run with several groups, and the amount of people that have been killed because of this mechanic is mind-boggling to me, that this wasn't somehow brought up or maybe it was. I have no idea. I don't.
Which one?
The lightning thing in the finale of Corollary that doesn't show as an enemy AoE, like, that is awful, and I can't say enough that needs to be corrected. Like, it is insufferably annoying, because like every single time because I've done it with several like first runs for people, like, type of thing, and it catches literally every single person. I have not done a run where somebody didn't get clipped by it, and they're like, I'm dying. I was like, oh, you can't see the AoE, dodge roll. And they're like, oh. It's like, and either they either die in it, or panic dodge roll into the slaughterfish water, or like it's so annoying. But it's like, if nobody saw that, that one seems a little glaring, because actually I haven't run into many people that haven't had an issue with that one. But like, it just, now that it's brought up, it's like, once you're aware of a problem, then you can fix it. Sometimes it's just a simple, like, oh, I didn't even think of that type of deal. Yeah. So this is definitely a good start, at least.
So yeah, that's about it for the update 34 base game stuff. But obviously there is the chapter specific things, which include the new zone, High Isle, which is the Sisters something archipelago.
Yeah, the Sisters Isles or whatever.
Yeah, the words. And they are beautiful, I have to say. It's very naval. And I love the naval stuff, okay? Like the sail ships, the construction docks and stuff like that. There are some massive construction areas for like massive ships, bigger than we have ever seen in the game. There are sail ships just going back and forth in the distance. It's amazing. So, 30 hours of unique story content. That really depends on how fast you burn through story. So I guess...
Right. Do you actually listen to the story, or do you skip dialogue as fast as possible? Strong suggestion, don't do that, but you do you.
New card game called Tales of Tamriel. I mean, Tales of Tribute. Which is, I am getting used to it. So, again, just before the show, I was playing it, and I think I'm getting the hang of the potential strategies and everything like that. I was comboing my cards. We are going to talk more about it in the future, but it's interesting, to say the least. It's very different to what I've played so far in card games. But we are going to get to that more in like Tales. New 12-player trial, the Red Sail Reef. 2 new companions, Ember and Isobel. One of which is voiced by Laura Bailey, who is amazing. So I think Ember is. New World Events, Volcanic Vents. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say, it's just I know there's a lot of hype for the Laura Bailey and Isabel one. It's like, man, I'm really excited for Ember, because she won't judge me for murdering anybody who doesn't give me what I want in game. So big fan of that.
So the New World Events are Volcanic Vents, which I have not had the chance to test. But I just hope they're as difficult as the Harrow Storms or something like that, and they're not in the difficulty range of Oblivion Portals. If anyone in chat did play through like the Volcanic Vents, the World Events, do tell us how you feel about the difficulty level of it as well, and we'll mention that. 10 new item sets and 5 new mythic item sets. There are some really cool sets in there. I can touch on them from the patch notes in a bit. New collectibles, furnishing, and dyes, obviously, and new achievements and titles. Lotus, there are over 120 new achievements. How does that make you feel?
I am very pleased. Very pleased. I've been actually, in my anticipation here, trying to plan out, like, ooh, how many points are there? I've been trying to figure out what the stuff is worth. I actually need to just log on to PC and look for myself. Because, like, I'm curious with some of these things. One of the ones, which I don't know how many people, how much people might know about, like, specifically, achievements related to the companions are brutal. Because getting them to level 20 is savage. It takes so much experience.
There is
so
actually...
unless they've modified that, I assume it's gonna be.
hold on.
Rough.
I remember reading something about the experience they get.
Oh, that was for guild skill line experience.
Oh, yeah,
them.
True. Yeah, that's for...
Which,
yeah.
that... so, actually, since you brought that up, that is a fantastic change. What changed was, instead of doing your daily... You can get the daily Mages Guild, you can do the daily Fighters Guild, or the Undaunted Delve. You can do any of those three, and you'll unlock / level up the corresponding skill line for your companions, because they have their normal skill lines based on their class, but then they also can get these ones. Originally, they would get a percentage of experience, and then it would... Now, every time you do a quest of the corresponding type, you get a skill level, which is awesome and way more efficient.
Yeah.
Because that definitely got a little on the grindy side, especially when you're like, if you're max level, you're just doing them to level your companion, and it's like, okay. And the problem is, though, they don't get quest experience, they get kill experience. So, like, you're doing it and they're not even getting experience for the quest, they're just getting skill line experience. So it's just, all around, that is a way better way of doing it, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, it's... like, I really want to get the new companions as well, but my current companions are like level 12. So...
Okay. So once you get past 10, then it gets real grindy.
So I'll probably get Isobel and Ember and get them to like level 10 as well, and I'll be like, nope. That's it.
Yeah, see, we brought we actually brought them into Black Rose Prison, and we two-personed the Black Rose Prison like XP grind. Or we'd bring them into a public dungeon looking for something and just spam murder things, and that was like how we did it. But like, you pretty much have to specifically grind with them to level them up after 10. Then it just starts getting so monotonous where it's just like, oh my god, they get so much experience.
So there are a lot of actually, hold on, is there anything I didn't mention? No. So there are a lot of new sets, and obviously we are not gonna go through all of them, but there's a couple that I want to specifically mention. Now, one of them is Druid's Braid, which is a 12-piece set.
Yep.
And all it does is it gives maximum health, maximum magicka, maximum stamina over and over again until 12 piece. So 4 stacks of 1200 maximum health, 1100 maximum magicka, and 1100 maximum stamina. That's all the set does, just pure raw resources.
It's like an ultimate trainee set.
And I really want to build something stupid with this. Like, it's I don't know what I can do with it yet, but I really want to do something stupid with it. Another piece I want to mention is this new trial set for heavy. I'm gonna bring only the heavy one up because I can't comment on the other ones. But it's called the Pearlescent Ward. And the 5th bonus grants you and up to 11 group members Pearlescent Ward. Pearlescent Ward increases weapon and spell damage by up to 180 based on the number of group members that are alive. Pearlescent Ward increases damage reduction from non-player enemies out of 66% based on the number of group members that are dead. So if everyone's alive, everyone does a lot more damage. If a lot of people are dead, those who remain are a lot more resistant.
Yeah, and it's a really cool progression set.
Like, I love the concept because it allows you to...
I do too.
Like, it allows you to come back from a full wipe. Because if enough people are dead, those remain really are resistant. I mean, 66% damage reduction. That's a If I'm the only one alive as the tank, I'll just stay alive with that. There's, I mean,
you don't even need magma shell to just res people while they know all the AoEs.
So I don't know. I like that quite a lot as well. Now there's another. This is a mythic that I really love. It's called Dovra's Sabatons, and I feel like this would be very fun with a pure tank build again in PvP. While sprinting, gain a stack of draconic scales every 0.5 seconds, granting you 660 armor up to 20 stacks max. So in 10 seconds of sprinting, you'll get 660 armor times 20. Upon stopping, you deal physical damage per stack in an 8-meter shockwave. So if you sprinted for 10 seconds, that's going to be 20 stacks. Gain a damage shield equal to the damage dealt, and retain draconic scales for 10 seconds, but cannot gain new stacks. At 20 stacks, this damage will also stun for 3 seconds. The damage scales of the higher of your physical and spell resistance. So basically, you sprint for 10 seconds straight into the enemy. You stop. As soon as you stop, you stun everyone in 8 meters for 3 seconds. You deal... The damage does not... I guess it'll show up in the tooltip in the game. So you deal damage based on your physical or spell resistance, whichever is higher. So if you go with a pure tank build... It's going to be quite high, and you will have the 660 armor that already comes from having those 20 stacks times 20. Well, 660 times 20, and then you also retain that armor plus a damage shield. So I want to get this, go for a pure tank build, and just like run for 10 seconds, stop, run for 10 seconds, stop, run for 10. Just keep sprinting into people.
I mean, if you can organize it well, I could see this in like Battlegrounds being kind of goofy, because you could just like run at people defending it like a capture point and just be like, like, blow up. And then your team can come in and start whacking at them because you've already got them all softened up. Or same thing with like the Chaos Ball or something. I don't know. It seems like because of the amount of sprinting to get 2 different objectives in Battlegrounds, this could be a lot of fun if you want to do something like that.
I mean, not just you, but if you go into a Battleground with 4 people doing this, and you just
just everybody rush a flag. I wonder
if
you could do enough damage if everybody rushes a flag and then everybody stops. Could you just delete whoever's on the flag?
You might be able to. I mean, at full stack, I'll have to check the in-game tooltip to see how much damage it deals per like the physical armor or spell resistance. But yeah, this could this could make a lot of fun stuff.
Yeah.
Now, sorry. The last thing I want to mention is the Oakensoul ring. Have you read the latest patch note on Oakensoul ring, Lod?
Yes. All right. So I think the Oakensoul ring is pretty decent now. Originally, the original version that was quote unquote OP was my favorite. The corrected version was very outside specific circumstances, really had no benefit that I saw to me or any style of play that I would have, because just the buffs were just not valuable for the most part. And then the new version is better than that, I feel, because it gives you some of these minor buffs that are a little harder to get. But again, it's not quite as over the top power wise, I guess. It's still been reined in a bit. The only thing is, it definitely seems like a very strong solo thing, which is fine. But I had mentioned in the episode where me and Mancave Gaming were chatting that one of the things I really did like about the potential of the ring, other than the fact that it's just like, oh, look, it does crazy big damage. Well, it was doing a lot of damage. And the restriction is you only use 1 bar, which is almost like a benefit as much as a punishment. But the ceiling was definitely lower than 2-bar builds, but the floor was comically higher. And I really I guess in terms of accessibility, one of the things that I did like about that was the fact that it provided a way for people to output damage in a way that was really beneficial to groups, even if you weren't great at bar swapping or can't bar swap, whatever the case with that. I liked that. Now it's kind of like at an in-between where it definitely seems very strong for solo. I really want to screw around with it to see if maybe you can work with prioritizing different buffs in a way that, okay, just don't overlap with your teammates. And then it could be useful for like a dungeon group or something like that. Or because some of those still, you would kind of need to focus on it as like more of the objective, I think, to make it practical. But your uptimes will be great. Like I said, the other thing that was brought up to me when I was asking about it, because I was actually bringing up the current situation, the lead to get out of Murkmire safe boxes is the running joke, because Murkmire is a literal dumpster fire of everybody trying to get these leads, which I don't like the RNG of these things to get leads, but oh my God, apparently it's chaos. Everybody trying to get this lead. And I kind of was curious.
Oh,
Why? Like, why is everybody so fascinated by this thing if it's not a best in slot thing? Which a lot of times, even if people aren't using the set right, they just hear the set and they're like, oh, it's best in slot, I need to have this. I.e. look at Alkosh back in the day, where it's like most people didn't even know how they were triggering Alkosh. They were just like, I was told to wear Alkosh. It's like, you do know you need to do more than just put it on. Like, it doesn't just work. Or PA is another one, powerful assault. But that aside, I was just surprised at the amount of people that seem to be really interested in this thing. And I was like, the appeal of the one bar thing is definitely there, but it was like, I guess I'm just a little surprised at the initial rush, because it's not like a meta push thing and everybody's all about it. And one thing that was brought up, thank you for everybody, because actually some people brought up some interesting points that I didn't think about, which was why I asked the question on Twitter. A lot of people were just like, one bar builds are appealing, even if it's just for solo or whatever. And I'm like, oh, I totally get that. But those people I wouldn't assume they would be dive bombing in like, I need a day one. It's like, probably not pushing bleeding edge if that's what you're kind of doing. You're probably enjoying the scenery a bit more. But, maybe not. But the big thing, which I didn't consider, was still having it for PvP. Because it does have like a strong appeal for if you're going to be a werewolf. It's definitely been reined in for the werewolf thing. But like just being able to use one bar in PvP is kind of a pretty big selling point I could see. So I get it. I don't know. I'm interested in it, but I really wish they didn't do these lead things the way they the fact that these boxes aren't even instanced and it's only one person, it's just they got to work on that in the future. I don't like when they do that stuff. We had the water nodes for the kilt, we've got the lock boxes for it's just God, don't do it like that, please.
Do you know if the Oakensoul ring is still a one bar thing?
It is. Yes, that is its punishment. Yes, you can only use one bar.
In the last, update 34 patch notes, it does not mention the one bar thing. It just reads...
Really?
While equipped... Okay, Oakensoul ring. While equipped, grants major prophecy, savagery, brutality, sorcery, berserk, courage, force, protection, resolve, heroism, and minor intellect, endurance, and fortitude. And that's it. No mention of one bar... and
so
it includes pretty much everything. That's
okay.
Let me
all right, then let me rephrase what I just said. If it doesn't have that one bar penalty thing, like I just assume they were referring to it, because if that's the case and you can use both bars, sign me the F up. Like, okay, well then, yeah, you just get everything. Like, it just makes all your times great. Okay, I guess I just naturally assumed that the one bar thing was still a part of it, but I guess maybe that's
okay.
Why.
But
I don't know, and since I haven't been there to play with it yet, I haven't seen anybody confirm. That would be very strange.
Yeah, I forgot to look at it in the game. But I'm trying to look at for example, ESO Hub. So in ESOsets.com.
Okay, Dog says that it is still one bar. Gina just forgot that part.
Okay, there we go.
Okay,
So
because
they
I'm
just
like,
increased.
that went from being like
It
really
was going
good
to be
for a
OP.
one-bar
I
build
mean,
to not that useful to, okay, this is pretty solid, to completely off the rails broken again. It was like,
and I'm looking at the tooltip at ESO Hub, and it does says while equipped, you are unable to swap between your primary and
yeah,
backup sets.
okay, all right.
But
Whew,
I mean,
all right. Phew.
still, Major, Berserk, Courage, Brutality,
Oh, yeah.
Sorcery, Prophecy, Savagery, Force,
I
Protection, Resolve, Heroism,
it's
plus minor Fortitude,
you've got
Intellect, and Endurance. I mean,
right. And that's why it's like, so I don't know. I'm very curious to see how this plays out. Because that's just it. It's I like that they modified some of the buffs. They overlapped some of the buffs so that it wasn't quite so beneficial to werewolves, because werewolves get a few of those. So it's like, okay, werewolf isn't just getting here's more. It's like, okay, well, here's a few of the things that you already get. So it makes it less beneficial to something that's already a one bar. But then, it adds in some things to give it a little more group utility with the minor buffs and stuff like that. So I really like that. I don't know. I'm very curious to see it once I get my hands on it, or once people who are better at DPS get their hands on it, because it definitely seems crazy strong for solo stuff. It seems potentially very strong for PvP. I would just like it to be good. It doesn't need to be best in slot. And actually, I feel like maybe that seems a little unfair. Like, okay, if you're better with using 2 bars, you should be rewarded for the skill of being able to bar swap like that. But it's like, if it could provide that type of use at the expense of the back bar, but make you competitive in a group, like, that'd be pretty cool, in my opinion. Like, I would like that. I'm very curious to see how it works, especially with so much focus on the 1 bar stuff that a lot of people have been doing recently. Deltia, Hack the Minotaur, Duma, who is the one who I suggested because it was the first one I found personally. So it's like, I don't know, like, I would like it to be something unique and useful, as opposed to just another, here's a solo ring, like the Ring of the Pale Order. It's like, well, we already have a solo ring. It's just that one heals you a bunch. This one does like a bunch of buffs and stuff like that. So I don't know. Very curious to see how it shakes out once more people are able to get those damn lock boxes and get their hands on the stupid thing.
So that's pretty much the recap of High Isle from me, at least. Do you want to add anything else for the chapter itself?
No, for the chapter itself, since I haven't been in there yet, and I'll be doing pretty minimal stuff with it until it drops on console, where I'll be maining everything. Yeah, that's kind of just what I've seen so far. The island looks awesome from what I've seen, and yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty excited to get my hands on it, sooner rather than later.
Did you not like
next
log
week
into
and a half or whatever?
PC just to check it out or something?
No, it's I didn't buy it yet, so it's
okay,
like loading. I've got it updating actually, so I can get access to it probably around the time that we're done. It should probably be done updating, because yesterday was such a mess with everything. I was like, I'm not gonna have time to play, so I'm not gonna put another download on the server. I'll just wait.
No,
But I figure I can at least mess around with the base game stuff and then decide, okay, do I want to just buy another copy? Because one thing which does seem like the case, I don't know if it was supposed to be said. I asked, but I won't say anything specifically. But I did hear from sources, I'll just put it that way, for the sake of sounding creepy, that there is no physical version of the game this time. There is no box. You can't buy a box version. There's no cased version, even if it was just a case with a code. So one of the things that I like to do, and I did it last time with the PC version, was I downloaded the digital version on my console just to get it day one type of thing, and just get going in it. And then I bought a physical copy of it so that I could have the box for the shelf. It's not even a disc. It was just like a code or whatever. They're not even making those anymore. It doesn't seem like. They've discontinued doing box things, which is kind of, I mean, I guess I get it. Like, because it lowers production and stuff like that. But like, it's kind of weird that after all these years and it even has box art. If you look at the commercials, it has box art. What? Why? Who wasted their time making box art then? Like, what? I mean, what was the point?
Who knows what's going on with the production lines and everything like that?
And that's just it. It very well could be. Okay, so yes, that's the thing. We can go right into that because like so I happen to have it next to me for anybody on the video version. Apologies for anybody that's just listening to the audio, which I do know is most of you, so we won't drag this out. But totally got my Ascendant Lord statue, which is probably the best statue they've done yet. I love this thing. It is really cool. It weighs a ton. It is whatever the resin is. It is beefy. The joke that we had of like who uses letter openers nowadays. So the Ascendant Lord sword is a letter opener, and mine. I assume they're all like this. Mine was actually taped at the end because the end of the blade is actually sharp. Like it's like legitimate. Like mine is like legitimately pretty decent. I was like, wow, okay, that's pretty all right. It's a sword, got it. So that thing is very cool. Big fan of the statue. They've restocked them as well because people have been ordering them. Again, I've kind of shouted this out for the sake of more so saving people money because we constantly bring up the prices in the Bethesda store. One of the big things earlier in the year was also that coin, like the coin that was mailed to us for the promo stuff with the letter from the Magus to the Ascendant Lord. That's also in the store now because one of the things that I really like is that, yes, as the term makes me cringe, but content creators we're sent stuff a lot of times, like as promo because you know
statue.
It doesn't.
No.
Oh no! So it's just on NA.
I think so. Yeah.
Rip. All right. Well, I guess it might just be NA. Gross. But so the coin is available too. So if you were bummed, like I know a lot of you had mentioned that you were. You can buy them. They're like 20 something bucks or whatever. And it's the coin that we were sent. It's the same one. I've seen what it looks like. So if you did want one and felt let down that you didn't get sent one for promo reasons, you can actually get one. And it doesn't need to be mine. I can't stress that enough because there's lots of cool people in the community that have this access to this. But a bunch of us, and kind of like... many of you have used mine because I get alerts every time it's used. For that brand ambassador or whatever terrible name it was given thing, if you're buying something from the store and it isn't it's like not on sale and it's not on pre-order. Those are the only two things that we've managed to narrow down as exceptions to the rule. So it doesn't matter if that's the case. But if something is just an item, the coin counts. Now that the statue's not on pre-order, I know that counts or whatever.
They don't even ship to Turkey.
It could be.
I was just gonna buy it live, but they don't ship the statue to Turkey from NA store.
There you go. I was gonna say, use one of the creator codes. I can make more if you need them. But I know Elder Memes has it. The Red Diamond Courier, they have one. Livia, friend of the show, has one. Cilia from the community, Chad Podcast, they do. There's so many of us that are in technically. Tom, Robots Radio, hit one of us up if you're going to buy something from the store. It does not matter. Like we get like a kickback thing. So like that's fine or whatever. And we get to see some stuff, which is kind of why I joined. I was like, I want to see stuff early. That sounds fun. But the big thing is we can make codes and you get 20% off. So like if you're buying one of these things, don't pay full price for it.
Yeah.
Shipping is expensive enough. Save yourself some money. Like I said, it doesn't need to be me. It can be any of us. But yeah, hit me up if you specifically need. Several people have done so and confirmed that the codes do work. So yeah, definitely do that. Don't pay full price for this stuff. Although I am a big fan of it. So far, love the statue, love the other thing. Dogs, checked with Bob. You guys should have one now, I think.
Bob is keeping the
But I
code for
appreciate
himself.
you guys all the same.
He doesn't tell it to dog like it's my code.
But yeah, so like that's the statue thing, very cool. And mainly I just wanted to bring up the coin because I know a lot of people were very interested in that when it launched. So yes, Brian, you can also hit me up. I'll send you something after. The other thing that I want to just bring up in the news section, they like on the download dropped a new cinematic trailer today. I don't know if you saw this.
Yes.
It's awesome.
I mean, like,
and
what?
It's so good.
I was
Their trailers
losing
are so
it while
good
watching it.
Yeah, the only thing I will say about that, and I literally made the joke once I had a chance to watch it right before the show, and I just made the comment like, dude, he wrecks the 3 Alliance heroes, just like
That's
straight up wrecks them.
So, like last night, I went live on my own channel and to just like check things around, and we ended up watching trailers for like 40 minutes because of this cinematic trailer. This Ascendant Lord dude is so OP. He knocks, literally knocks out the Nord hero with a punch. The same Nord hero.
It looked like he hit him with the hilt of the claymore.
I mean, it doesn't matter. The Nord hero, we have seen him. Dropkick werewolves, choke punch werewolves, take like arrows and sword hits and stuff like that and fight after that and just like walk away. We've seen him knock out vampires, go up against a giant flesh colossus and everything like that. And this Ascendant Lord dude knocked him on his face.
Yeah, he was just straight out cold and was like, well, I'm going to pitch you off the top of this tower.
Like, yeah, he grabbed him by like the ankle and was just about to throw him off. I mean...
Yep.
So
it was... oh, man, yeah. Dude is a
fight choreography
a total
and
badass.
It's... oh.
But yeah, I was joking because like when I watched it, I was like, wow, that dude right there is totally wearing the unnerfed Oakensoul ring because it is a 1v3 and he is wrecking them.
Yeah.
Like total domination. But yeah, yet another super cool video. I love these things. They're so good.
I mean...
they really just need to make a movie out of this stuff.
I mean, at this point, there is like... over an hour worth of, I think, cinematics.
Right, if you clip them all together.
Yeah. There's a big amount. So
yep,
it is almost a movie already. Like, it just doesn't connect. But,
right, yeah, they just have huge gaps in time.
Yeah, it's almost a full-length movie at this point. Just 2 more chapters, and they just need to stitch the gaps together with, like, more cinematics. And... I don't know, man. That trailer was just...
it's so good.
Now I want to watch it again. I'll watch it again after the show.
Right? I was going to say, if you do yourself a favor, if you haven't already seen it, definitely go watch it. Mm-hmm. It's so good. I think, though, that's all of the like news specifically to cover. Mm-hmm. Obviously, each week... especially once it drops for console, we'll be able to dive a little more into it. But we also still want to skirt around, like, here's all the cool stuff from the chapter, but also not, here's a whole bunch of spoilers because it just came out and we expect people to rush through it. That's no fun. So take your time. We will not spoil stuff on the show for a while like we usually do. Mm-hmm. We'll hold off. And also, take your time going through this thing because it's real pretty, and I cannot wait to fully dive into it. Even if I screw around on PC, there's no way I'm going to play it as much as I obviously do on my main. So
yeah, that's about it for the news. So I'm gonna we have the round of shoutouts, the reviews, and then our break, which I need because I need to like go sneeze and cough and do all the allergy stuff. So, as always, of course, our amazing supporters over at patreon.com/UESP, supporting both your favorite Elder Scrolls resource site, which is the unofficial Elder Scrolls pages, and us here at Tales of Tamriel podcast. This past couple weeks, we had Samuel Baumard, the spherical beanbag, Chris Kuczynski, Luzurper, Tegs, and Coleman. And that's literally the name. It's just AHHHHH, so that's for me.
The names are fantastic.
Yeah. So thank you all so much for the continued support. We appreciate it. And I hope you enjoy the rewards you will get from UESP, because if you haven't listened, or rather if you have listened, there are some amazing stuff in the works that we talked with the founder of UESP last episode. So yeah, do go check out patreon.com/UESP to get your rewards and support everything. We also have an iTunes review this week. It is titled, it was a 5-star, and it is titled, "This is a must-listen for Elder Scrolls fans." Lotus of Doom and Arcaneer have all the big names in ESO join them to discuss the hottest topics. Those featured on this podcast have Elder Scrolls resumes going back several decades. Tom of the Lore Seekers podcast, or rather Lorecasters. No, it's Elder Scrolls Lorecast.
It's a tongue-tying thing. Elder Scrolls Lorecast. The other show that I'm on.
Yeah. Basically, Tom from Robots Radio Network, who we are also a part of now, is always a favorite guest, as is Deltia, an expert in PvP. The UESP creator interview was fabulous. Be sure to catch that episode. Basically, I never miss this podcast, as it keeps me up to date on Elder Scrolls Online and the Elder Scrolls universe. This was from Debel and Mage, and we really, really appreciate the words, and we really enjoy that you enjoy the guests as well, because guest episodes are our favorites as well. I mean,
they're so much fun.
Mm-hmm. I mean, all these people are like our friends and people we look up to as well. So it's always great to have them on the show and get their input, because as it was mentioned in like the review, they all have different expertise in the game and in Elder Scrolls universe. Like Deltia is the Deltia is a master. We have Tom that failed his Guar lore, but it's okay. He's still a lore caster. It's fine. But yeah, it's all these people with different aspects of the community. We had the role-playing crew with Tida Khajiit and Rykoth. We have the community people like Matty. Oh, and Matty back as well.
Yes, there's probably something cooking actually with Matty.
He's been,
as everybody's
teasing.
Yeah, everybody's probably noticed his many teases, as well as his super awesome gift from Zos Official, which was the Elsewhere lithograph signed by a bunch of the dev team. And there's more coming. So let's just say that we'll be working with Matty as he reveals more, and maybe he'll be able to guest appearance again soon. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
I want him to, because
have a big reveal here
teased. Too. Like, I am count me officially teased, because I'm curious what he's cooking. I mean,
yeah, I don't know what the end thing is. I know little bits and pieces, but I'm like, what is this amounting to?
So we'll hopefully get to see what that is soon. What is the date he's been teasing? It's like a week or two later, right? Not too far now.
I believe. It's like, I want to say it's like the 19th.
I'm opening his Twitter.
Yeah, I believe it's like the 19th or something like that. I may have had it. It's noted somewhere for which show he needs to be on, so I just don't know off the top of my head when his announcement is.
So whatever
it's the 18th. Okay, so he ideally will be joining us on the 19th, provided we can align all our schedules.
Yeah, 6/18/22. Yep. And that's obviously the wrong way of writing it, because the month should not come before the day, man. It just doesn't make any sense. But yeah, so that's about it for this section of the show. Of course, we are going to have our break, which will restore my ability to talk again. and we'll continue with our tales and go from there. So see you all in a minute. And we are back with the fan favorite of the show. I really need to figure out like a voice sound thing or a transition for these, but
Oh yeah, we should do a transition.
I do at the post editing do like the fire crackling sound, like going up and down.
No, I like
again.
that actually.
But yeah, a proper transition would work as well at some point. But
SD just says quack. So we can just have a duck or guar noises. Beautiful.
No, Avron
knows what's up.
No.
Yeah. It's fine.
No.
No, Avron knows what's up. It's fine.
But yeah,
he's got the right idea.
Tales of Tamriel. I'm actually gonna start because I have really small amounts of tales.
Yeah, but I was also I was gonna say I'm also curious to hear a little more, other than what I've been able to see, of just you getting to mess with
Tales of
Tribute a little bit.
So Tales of Tribute is interesting in the sense that it feels vastly different to any other card game that I've played so far. Those being mainly Hearthstone, Elder Scrolls Legends, and Magic the Gathering. Now, in all of those, you have either mana or a certain amount of like action points that determine how many cards you can play and stuff like that. That's not the case with Tales of Tribute. It's a general resource management thing because you have two main things. You have coin and you have power. Coin allows you to buy cards, and power, you can either use it to attack the agents the enemy have, or it gets converted into prestige, which you need to win the game. And you can use both the coin and prestige to get like these bonus effects from the patrons. So it's a management of coin and power. And you have no limit to the amount of cards you can play if you combo things right. Because they don't have a mana cost, they don't have an action point cost. If you have the card, you can play it. And your deck constantly reshuffles every time you run out of cards, everything gets reshuffled back. So it's this continuous loop of just spamming cards. Well, I shouldn't say spam, because I figured out that there is an actual proper strategy to things. Because all these cards have combo effects. That if you use the certain like type card one after the other, they trigger their combo effects and stuff like that. And it's just this continuous rotation of cards. I don't know, I like it. I really thought I wasn't gonna, because of the style of card games that I'm used to, I wasn't going to enjoy it as much as I did. But so far, I've only played like a few AI games. Yep. And I don't know, it's interesting. It does, or rather the last game I played did take very long. It was like 20 something minutes, I think.
Yeah, the pregame show one that you did right before this episode was pretty funny, just because I was like, wow, this keeps going. When's the timer? And then I realized you were playing against an AI. So it was untimed against an AI, but it was like, wow, this just keeps going, huh?
I mean, even without the timer, it's just, I didn't really get cards that would give me prestige. I guess at that point, I should have just gone for the patron favors to auto win, like by converting 4 of them or something. But
yes.
It's just, yeah, I don't know. I like it. The artwork on the cards are really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
They are more stylized than Elder Scrolls Legends cards. They feel more like drawn rather than digital art, but they are still pretty cool. And yeah, overall, like I'll have more opinions once I get into PvP, like play against players rather than AI, because the AI so far, I mean, I'm very lower rank, so I assume it's gonna get more difficult, but AI at the beginnings is very easy. But yeah, it's a fresh look at the card game genre, at least in the ones that I played. Obviously there may be similar ones out there that they got inspiration from and things like that. But at least for like Hearthstone, Elder Scrolls Legends, and Magic the Gathering trio, this is vastly different in terms of how you play. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting more into it and get some PvP done and get some more cards open, so there's more variety to it, and figuring out strategies, because that's my favorite part of like playing card games, is when you do like, oh okay, you get a moment of like enlightenment in your deck and you're like, okay, I'm gonna play this card, and then I'm gonna play this card which will trigger this, and then I'll use that triggered effect to get this card, and then use that card to trigger my other card. And when you do that like chain combo, it's one of the best feelings for me in card games. And you can definitely do that in Tales of Tribute. Like there was a card I had that would like allow me to just pick a card from the tavern, which then would trigger the combo effect of another card I had, which would allow me to just pick up another card from the tavern, which would then allow me to like kill the agent of the enemy or something like that. So you're like, you are thinking of the order of play for your cards, because that's how they chain trigger each other. So trying to figure that out in the middle of the round is the fun part for me so far for Tales of Tribute. Like, okay, so I have these effects, I have these cards, and I have to trigger them in the right order to finish the chain completely type thing. That's the part, like, amount of things I've gathered in the...
I'm very interested to get my hands on this, I'm not gonna lie.
And honestly, other than that, I have not done anything. I've only played 2 hours of ESO and maybe just 5 hours of total games in the last couple months. Oh, one thing I do want to mention. Now, this is very not certain, but I might be at Gamescom this August, at the end of August.
Yeah, so, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed indeed, because the visa processes are all backed out thanks to COVID and like the holiday season coming in and everything like that. And this was really a last minute thing, the opportunity. So yeah, we'll see. I don't know if ESO is going to do any ESO Tavern, but...
that would be awesome.
Rich is one of the DevCom speakers. He's listed as one of the DevCom speakers. I don't know if he's gonna be there in person or if he's gonna just do like a call thing, like a video thing. But yeah, if it happens, I'm looking forward to it. But
yeah, and then you can make me jealous for a change.
The visa will be cutting it very, very extremely short.
Yeah.
Thanks to the like backed up appointments and things like that. So it's like there is we'll see. There's a high chance. Well, not high chance. Because my company is sending me, it's a business visa and everything like that. So it's just that
I know hopefully they expedite it because of that.
Yeah, if it's delayed based like compared to the usual visa processing time, just a couple more days, and I'll probably just miss the flight. So
right.
So yeah, risky move there, and I'm stressed. I'm anxious. But if it happens, hopefully, there will be an ESO Tavern. Kai said apparently.
Yes, D says that Kai said there will be a tavern.
So here's the hoping.
You gotta go.
Yeah, well, here's the hoping. I mean, I got the ticket. I got the bookings and stuff. Everything is pretty much done. It's just that the visa appointment, the earliest I can get, is very late.
And man, the tables will be turned. You'll have to try to get me cool EU swag.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
Figure out how to airdrop it via blimp into Boston or whatever we have to do.
So
But
hopefully
no,
it
I
happens.
hope you really get over
because
there.
I
That'd be
really want to
awesome.
meet everybody. I'll be participating in the DevCom side as well, which is like the business side of Gamescom, with the panels and meetings and like business area stuff. So networking stuff. So yeah, we'll see. I need to learn German, says ST. No, I'll get by. I'll get by somehow. It's okay.
Don't you know a million languages still? I'm sure you'll be fine.
I don't know German, that's the thing. So I'm fine with English, Turkish, Japanese, but no German. So I'll just need to
Rip.
figure one of I'm pretty sure I'll find one of the three in Germany, right? I mean, but yeah, that's pretty much about it from me. I probably won't be playing too much either in the coming months, or because of the possibility of going to DevCom slash Gamescom. I really need to haul ass on my game and get it presentable before I go there. So yeah, I'll be working quite
That's
a
all right.
lot.
We got plenty of
while
people
being
that we
extremely
need to be having
stressed.
join us for the coming
Yeah.
shows anyways. So
What about you, Lotus? What have you been up to?
So, other than myself with working a whole bunch, I have managed to get some stuff squeezed in because it's been a little while since the last show. I finished up the arena redo of the very beginning of Elder Scrolls 1 Arena, and I don't know, like 70% uploaded. Basically, I'm just uploading the full live streams to YouTube for all the people who were asking about those originally. So, if you want to watch me play through Elder Scrolls 1 Arena in the same terrible fashion that I did with Elder Scrolls Legend Battlespire, that's now on my YouTube. So that's there for anybody interested in how Arena works. And once I can find the time, I want to jump into Daggerfall is next on the list, but I'm still trying to manage time so that I can get into that. I've been playing a crap ton of Battlegrounds whenever I get the chance, just trying to screw around more with it. And I don't know, it's
more
so
achievements.
for achievements, but it's just like there's some stuff I like about it, and there's so many things I just like. It is not my game mode. I know people like BGs. It's like, man, give me Cyrodiil. That's for me. BGs is not my thing. So whatever. It's fun with a group just to goof around in and stuff like that. And it's not without fun, or I wouldn't play it. But
Oh yeah,
it's definitely, I feel, not. That'll never be my thing personally. What do you call it? I had mentioned the statue that arrived, which I super love. The other thing that I just wanted to kind of shout out, because I recently I joined a different guild for Prague that I'm in, which hopefully one day results in a Godslayer. We shall see if that happens, because it's just kind of forming and everything like that.
was Godslayer the Sunspire trifecta?
Godslayer is the Yes, it is. It's the only other title in the game that I want, that I do not have. And then Madigon inspired me by getting his, so now I want it. Well, I've always wanted it. It's just now. Unfortunately, this last patch was super hot for getting it, because Magi DKs were hitting like a truck along with everybody else. And with High Isle, the damage has dropped quite a bit. And time is something of a factor for Sunspire. But the... what was I going to say? A lot of people, for whatever reason, have just sent me nice messages via PlayStation about the show and stuff like that. So, I'm glad so many of you enjoy it. It's just like, I don't know. It's a lot of fun to record, so it's just nice to know that people enjoy the show. And, it definitely makes me smile whenever I see people sending me whispers. It's like, oh, I love Tales or whatever. I'm like, oh, I'm so glad. So
I've never once been noticed on...
Oh man, yeah, I was gonna say, I actually have a whole bunch. I meant to send them to you, because they're not just like addressed toward me. They're like, a lot of them are addressed toward the show type of thing. And it's
I feel like it's the name
it's
too,
different
because
aspects.
no one really knows how Arcaneer is actually written.
Actually
Or once they
spelled- yeah,
read,
mine's just
or
three
once they read it,
other
how
words.
it's actually pronounced, because it's a made-up freaking word. So
Yeah,
didn't think
right.
this through when I came up with it.
But yeah, it's but it's just, I'm glad so many people enjoy it. It's definitely entertaining, and it's not even like I've made jokes before that sometimes it's been like, a lot of them it's just in PvE or just I get a whisper if somebody runs by me or something and like notices me or whatever, I guess. But some of the funnier ones have been like when I've been sent something and our team gets wrecked in a battleground, or like we get trucked at a keep, and somebody will send me a message and I'm like dead from the from the thing, and I'm like, oh, that's, and they're just like, oh, love the show. It's like, cool. Just your army's just running over my dead body right now. Like,
has anyone ever messaged you about the like guar or your ugly armor?
Look, I've sent you a couple of the screenshots. Some people have just been like, dude, that armor's sick. What is it? And I'm like,
Paid
it's
actors.
because it's base game and nobody knows what it is.
Paid actors. I don't believe it.
They're paid actors.
Yeah, you give them 100k gold and they'll say anything.
And then the only other thing that I've been doing, which has now been a sort of like weekly thing. This will be week 4 actually that we've done it. I had mentioned the little trial guild thing that I set up because I was like, if you're interested, feel free to shoot me a message if you would like to be included. A bunch of you have. So, and some of you have run with us as well. Others haven't yet, but they're in the guild with us. But we have an achievement guild, I guess, for lack of a better word. It's a Discord. There's a helper guild that we have, which has crossover if you want an invite to that. But mainly it's a Discord thing for PlayStation only because that's where it's organized out of, on NA as well. But I figured I would give my hand at, because of this Project Vitality thing, which I do suggest you look up because it's a very cool idea to getting people into raiding, but it also showed that some of the DPS requirements and stuff like that are a bit over the top with groups. It obviously, as we've made reference to, more damage makes things easier when you can burn through stuff. Requiring that, it gets a little weird at times when it's like, okay, well, this is unobtainable, like at the time, like, when the Maw of Lurkage came out, 100k DPS was literally inconceivable. Like 40k was like, you are the best. Like, and now you'll have like Dramoth Destroyer teams be like, oh, 95k minimum. It's like, what? It's like, that is ridiculous. Like, no, like, now, if you do that stuff, I totally get it. And that's totally fine. But that's not what we've been doing with our group. I've kind of been trying to pick one-off achievements, usually a lot of the things people don't care about, like the side boss achievements in Vast, the side boss achievements, or like some of the specific ones in Cloud Rest. Right now we've been going through the Halls of Fabrication, which with a lot of weird ones, a couple not even related, a few related to the Dynamo thing, which is just like, do all of these things. And it's, doing boss fights a certain way, doing all these bizarre little challenges, but organizing 12 people to do it when you have like a trifecta team, they want the trifecta and then they probably don't care.
Yeah.
A lot of people, you need to care about like achievements. So I was like, if anybody's interested in this, hit me up. And a surprising amount of people care about these things. So I figured we will keep the requirements as open as possible unless there's a literal check that's going to be required. Like if there's like a check for something and you physically can't get by it without a certain quotient of damage, well, okay, you need to at least meet that quotient. But a lot of this stuff, I'm like, don't expect these to be like blitzkrieg clears. We're going to need to do some weird shit in some of these things, which we've done. We've had some weird setups, and people have learned some other roles, myself included. And they've been a lot of fun because they're not designed to be these super sweaty things, but we have an objective each time. And we have yet to run one of these where we have not completed one or all of our objectives. And these are unoptimized groups. Unoptimized meaning like it's not a certain amount of, macros and this stuff. And I'm like, this is not like what. Show up to the thing. We we kind of like, okay, what gear is useful to the group type of thing, but it's not super min-maxy at all. And it's been going really yeah, actually Lukey in chat makes a joke, as Lukey is one of the people who's run with us every week so far. And he mentions, not once have you asked me for my parse on any of those runs, and that is not unique to you. We have not done anything that requires a parse that is a DPS check. It is a organization check from all of us.
Yeah.
Are the tanks and healers able to do what they need to do? Are the DPS able to change direction and focus on what they need to? And the answer so far has been a resounding yes. We can, and we keep clearing stuff. In fact, we've beaten VHOF while doing other things like, doing kill process, which is for anybody who might not know about this thing, it's about this achievement. It's like both of the little dino raptors in VHOF. If they separate in, like when you get their link together, they do increase damage. When one of them dies, the other one will enrage. So the idea is to kill them as close to each other as possible so that they don't enrage. Well, kill process requires one of them to have 50% or more health when the other one dies. Which sounds like a DPS check. Not as much as you'd think. It is. And what we ended up doing, just for a kind of like out strategize it rather than out burn it, which obviously the faster you can burn it, the better it is, sure. But in our situation, we had the tanks prepped to trade off if the abuse got too bad for one of them, since we had two tanks and only one of them would now have a job. The healers obviously are trying to keep them up. But what we did, and the idea was brought up by one of the people in our group, Brash, he suggested a good way to do it so that we don't accidentally burn too much was to stop damage on one at like 70%. And the residual damage while focusing on the other one will bring its health bar down because there's the cleave damage in the situation. And when we did it, I believe we ended up being so accurate. I think it was 51% when the other one died. So we were almost like exactly on target. Yeah. So we didn't have to do more than we needed to, just did a little bit of organization, kited him around where we needed to, and knocked it out. It's been a lot of fun. And I think there's been a few people who have messaged me like off to the side being like, this is really cool to run. Like I've never been in a group that's just kind of like, yeah, let's just try to do this and see how it goes. And it's like, when the objectives are small one-off things, it's a lot more manageable because you can spend the session doing that. And then once you're done, you can clear out the trial, get gear for people. I learned how to DPS portals. I had never done portals in there. Dude, I don't want to tank VHOF anymore. I just want to do DPS and I want to go do portals. That's wicked fun. Like, so yeah, it's just been overall, it's been a really amusing experience so far. And I'm glad that people who have run with us have mentioned that it's a fun time. And actually, just because it's not, not everything for everybody, there have been 2 people so far who are just like, nah, this isn't super for me. Totally fine. Like,
yeah, I mean,
meant to be fun. If this ends up being like too much focus on one thing, not enough focus on a clear, totally get that too.
Yeah.
No worries. Like that's the point. This is supposed to just be kind of a chill run to do something, as opposed to the bog standard that a lot of things fall into. It's like end game trials, like go, 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 which honestly, I got this idea from one, wanting achievements because I'm an achievement junkie, but 2, the Project Vitality thing that Nephis has kind of brought up. And it was kind of just like, oh, this is a great idea. And it kind of spurred people to seem to be interested in trying things that maybe they didn't already. So we're going to be running that as much as I have time for each Sunday. So if that's something you have interest in and you are on PlayStation NA, just feel free to hit me up. A bunch of you have already and have run with us or haven't gotten to run with us yet. Just let me know. It's going to be there for a while. And even after we clear the ones I have in mind, for people who, we've actually had more people than a trials team worth doing these. So we're going to go back for people who have other ones that we've already done that they weren't in the runs for, and we'll redo them for people. Just because, again, since they're designed to be fun, people are much more into a casual 2-hour prog session for a thing. a lot of people don't need to keep doing something else. Everybody's been like, oh yeah, I'll just go back and do that again for somebody else. So it's like, yeah, it's been a very positive experience so far.
That's nice. I mean, if it was on like PCU, I would probably join as well, because I don't have the dedication to ESO for like a prog group that I have to run every week, you know, like a trainings and like trifectas.
I'd say there's about 70% of us are the same each week, with about 30% of the players have been not new, but shifting. Like some are in one week, they're not in the next week, some are in another week. It's like when they're all one-off things, it doesn't matter if it's the same team every week. Like you've got some room to learn, and you can show people, like you can teach people stuff, and having people learn different roles or getting clears on things they didn't have before is like, oh, this is fun. It's just been a fun time.
And I do have an alternate headline for all of this.
What's that?
Famous gamer addicted to suffering forces 11 other people to suffer for his achievement needs.
That's, I mean, but the problem is, if I worded it like that, I'd probably get less people to sign up.
True.
So they're fun achievement runs, not my own personal set of minions, so that I can personally hoard all of the achievement points, and I need them to help me get there. Because I'm not capable of doing most of these things myself.
I mean, soloing an entire trial while getting your achievements would be kind of difficult.
That's like J-dub quality. I ain't got that in me. Yeah, that's pretty much it for me this last week. Very excited for High Isle coming up.
Yeah. And I guess that brings us to the end of the show. So, Lotus, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Discord if you're interested in getting an invite to that. Lotus of Doom, super easy to find. Also, we record Elder Scrolls Lorecast each week, and we are going through deeper dives into all of the Daedric princes. So if that's something that you have interest in, definitely check us out at Robots Radio, which we're conveniently enough part of the network here.
Just look for Elder Scrolls Lorecast on Google, and it will pop.
Yes, Lorecast. Exactly.
As for me, you can find me anywhere that is Arcanier, ARKHANIIR. On Twitch, that's Arcanier's Quest. On Twitter, Arcanier, Gmail, Arcanier. Basically, if it's Arcanier, it should be me, because I made it up, as I mentioned before on the show. As for Tales, you can follow everything we do over at talesoftamrielpodcast.com. There you can find links to all of our social media, including... Well, that I did not manage to go through the thing.
Nailed
it. I'll have to redo it again, because I was almost like went into a coughing fit. Man. It's been months too. And I did see a doctor.
So you're out of practice and slowly dying to allergy.
Yeah. And they did like a lung film thing, and it was clean, and it's like, then why am I coughing like that? What is this? They just said it's like normal-ish after, COVID.
Yeah.
So
goody.
Yeah, perfect. So, outro number 2, take 2. You can follow everything we do over at talesoftamrielpodcast.com. There you can find links to all of our social media and content. Be sure to check out our Patreon at patreon.com/UESP if you want to help support the show and earn awesome Elder Scrolls themed rewards in the process. You can also consider leaving us a 5-star review on iTunes, so people know that we are a real podcast, that we say real words, and sometimes I cough. Thank you all so very much for joining us on this episode of Tales of Tamriel, and we will see you all next week. Have a great night, everybody.
See you later.
When Akatosh slew Lorcan, he ripped his heart right out. He hurled it across Tamriel, and the heart was heard to shout, red diamond, the heart and soul of men. Red diamond, protect us till the end. The laughing heart sprayed blood afar, a gout on Seer it fell, and like a dart shot to its mark down in an alien well. Magic effused the Lorcan blood to crystal red and strong. Then wild elves cut and polished it down to chimel at a ball. Red diamond, the heart and soul of men. Red diamond, protect us till the end. When elves lost Nirn to men, Akatosh gave the stone to Saint Alesh in token of her right to sit the throne. Red diamond, the heart and soul of men. Red diamond, protect us till the end. Red diamond, protect us till the end.